You probably got into making records just because you loved it, and that was enough. But the amazing thing about having this passion and learning this craft is that it doesn't have to just be a hobby. It is possible to start earning an income with your audio skills regardless of where you're at right now. Beginners can still be getting paid to learn by working with young and new local bands and just creating rough demos. And more experienced engineers can get more steady work and charge higher rates, increasing their income. Now that income can supplement your regular job, it can pay for your audio gear, or it can even allow you to cut back on day jobs and spend more time in the studio. And if you're willing to put in the time and put in the work, you actually can become a full-time engineer if that's your goal. I'm Jordan Valeriat, by the way, and that was exactly my path. I started out knowing next to nothing, and my recordings were absolutely terrible, but I was still recording rough demos for my friends and other local bands and charging for it. Not charging a lot, but regardless, I was getting paid as I learned and as I practiced. Now over time, of course, I got better and I could charge a little bit more. And bit by bit, word of mouth spread and my little studio business grew. Now eventually, I got to the point where I could work full-time out of my studio and ended up making records with bands like Silverstein, Neck Deep, and Intervals, and labels like Hopeless, Rise, and Solid State. Now, I was somehow able to do this while spending almost no time thinking about how to grow my business. I didn't read books, there weren't any audio business courses back then, so if I can somehow still make that happen, so can you, and actually imagine how much faster you could possibly get there with actual strategies, actual mentorship, and putting some focus on growing your business, which is what we're here to do in this workshop. When it comes to engineers and producers who want to build a career, the biggest problem I see over and over again isn't a lack of strategies, isn't a lack of connections, it's not even an issue with low skill or low quality. It's our own fears and our own mindsets holding us back. For example, thinking, I don't have the right gear or the right space, or I'm not good enough yet, or I just don't have experience. Always pushing that possibility out a little bit further until you're just a little bit better. Now, this isn't a skill problem. It's a confidence problem, and it's a fear of putting yourself out there. Now, we all do this. It's okay, myself included. But I want to ask, are you pushing your potential way out in the future? For example, one of our control room members at the end of 2018 said his goal for this next year was to land one client in the studio. Now, he did that almost instantly before 2019 even started, and another one followed right after. So that goal was obviously too safe. So don't think small or put a goal like this out months or years in the future. The truth is you probably have opportunities in front of you right now that you're just not seeing or not taking advantage of. So I want to help you with that in this lesson. And we created a worksheet for you to download on this page, which you'll want to use as you continue with this video. So if you've got your worksheet ready, let's start identifying your opportunities right now. Maybe it's that you could land your first paying client or even your first project period for someone other than yourself. If that's you, write it down. Or maybe your next opportunity is to work on 2 or 3 projects this month instead of just 1. Or maybe to land a bigger or better band in your area to start moving up. Take a moment and write out your potential opportunities now. Next, we're going to turn these opportunities into goals. So let's make it a 90-day goal, and remember, don't think too small. Like they told us in school, at least they told me, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars, right? So you have your opportunities and you have your goals written down. Now I want you to identify the low-hanging fruit. And what I mean by that is the easiest opportunities in front of you that will get results as quickly and as easily as possible. Now it always starts with people who already know, like, and trust you, such as, if you're in a band, you must start recording your own band. If your band is a little further advanced than your production quality is right now, then still just do demos with your band. Spread the demos around to your friends who are in other bands or bands you play with and just ask for their feedback on your songs. Now who knows, maybe they also want to do some demos. And being in a band is a mega advantage, and if that's you, that is your #1 place to start. In fact, when I wanted to get more serious in my studio, I purposely went out and joined a good band and played with them for a while because I knew it would expose my studio to a lot of other bands in the area a lot faster and a lot easier. Now, if you're not in a band, that's okay, stay with me. I want you to think if you have friends, family, extended family in bands, you can approach them and offer your services. Remember, if no one knows that you want to record and mix for bands, then they'll never come to you. You have to take the action first to make people aware of what you do and what you can offer. Now, continuing to move outwards, you can then ask your friends if they know anyone in a band. Basically, just to start with a close circle and expand it out until you figure out where that low-hanging fruit is. Now, if you've already got some clients, the low-hanging fruit might be to reach out and see if they're ready to do another song or another project. Or it could be to reach out to bands who you haven't worked with, who are friends with, or who play with the bands you have worked with. Chances are they've already heard your work and they already know about you, and you just need to reach out and finally make that connection. All right, with your goals and your low-hanging fruit in mind, identify what you're going to do in the next 30 days to move this forward and make this a reality. By the way, feel free to shorten that to 24 hours instead of 30 days. Remember, all of this dreaming, all this planning, this goal setting, none of it matters unless you're actually willing to take the action. And what often happens when we start to dream and set bigger goals, uncomfortable goals, is that you start to have the doubts and you hear the negative voices in your head. Voices like, that's not realistic, or you don't have the time or the right gear or any connections. Now always ask yourself, is this really true? Like if you don't have time, who said that you had to dedicate tons of time in order to get this ball rolling? What if you just set aside time to do one single 4-hour session one day a week to start? Or let's take it further. Don't be picking up the scraps of your own time. Be the owner of your time and create time for what you need to do. You don't need to start by making some massive leap and dedicating tons of time. Start however you can start right now. Or maybe the doubt or the limit coming up for you is family obligations and how that impacts your time. Now, is it true that they're holding you back? Here's a solution. Bring them on board. The people closest to you probably want you to succeed and want you to find fulfillment. Bring them into your goals and work together. You can find a way to make this happen. Now, all of the ideas I'm talking about right now apply to you whether you're a beginner, whether you're already getting clients, or even if you're already full-time or close to that. There are always ways to grow and increase your potential. This is an ongoing journey, not just a one-time project or a destination. We're always leaving money on the table, remember that. So I've shown you that opportunities do exist, and we've set some goals and we've identified the low-hanging fruit and the next action you need to take. So in the next lesson, we're going to get even more practical and continue on this journey. I'm going to be sharing 4 strategies for landing clients in your studio. Now these are proven ways to land your first band or your next client or just more clients. They're proven because each strategy I'm going to talk about is actually pulled directly from real-world experience from myself and from other engineers I'm working with in our control room group who range from people just starting out all the way to full-time engineers. So I'll be giving you those strategies in the next lesson straight up, so you don't want to miss that one. In the meantime, finish filling out your worksheet if you haven't yet, and then share in the comment section below what your 90-day studio goal is. Now feel free to ask any questions there as well. I'll keep checking back to help. But as with anything, the more you put into this, the more you're going to get out. So use the worksheets, share your goals, and dive in to get the most value out of this free series. It's not staying up forever. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in lesson 2.